It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. We are so thankful that you can join us for Breakfast Daily. We're going to have a good morning today.
Absolutely.
How are you doing?
Fantastic. I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. Yesterday I just crashed early and I enjoyed a full night of sleep.
Oh, how was that?
Very refreshing, particularly when the rain started.
Yeah.
You know, I love the sound of rain and the sound of water. Yeah, so that was good for me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And I think it's important for a lot of us to invest in sleep, and because we know that some people are of the thinking that you need to stay up, and staying up all night means that you're somehow going to conquer the world.
Yeah.
But now there's a new school of thought that says you actually need to sleep well to be productive.
You know, it's true. And your brain needs the sleep for functioning. Your body needs the sleep for proper functioning. And so, I mean, it's counterproductive eventually, you know, if you just try to burn the midnight oil for too long before you realize you're burning life at the wrong end, you know.
And you don't want to do that. But thank you guys so much for being with us. My name is Dziffa, Akua, Ametam.
And I'm David Kwaku.
That's an interactive show. So wherever you're watching us from, we do want to hear from you. We want to know how your day is going, how your morning has been. Did you enjoy your sleep last night? Just let us know with the hashtag Breakfast Daily.
Yes, and our WhatsApp line too is 0550585832. It's on your screen. If you're happy to be outside Ghana, kindly prefix that with +233.
Now, you know what day today is, right? 7th of October.
Which is 60 days exactly before the general election.
Yep.
60 days.
Yep. It's
2 months.
Just like that.
Exactly.
You know, just 4 years ago, we were out there voting, you know. Kwaku promised free SHS, among other things, one district, one factory. We're going to transform the economy from taxation to production. And now we're going to go out there and vote again. Will we retain the MPP or vote them out? Power is on to you.
Those of you who have decided not to vote or are thinking you're not going to vote, please change your mind because you need to vote. All right?
Now, every morning we start the show for our quote of the day, so take a look at our quote this morning.
Well, the quote of the day today comes from Oprah Winfrey. Oprah says, if you look at what you have in life, you always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. Wow. If you look at what you have in life, you will always have more. But if you look at what you don't have in life, you will never have enough.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the entire idea of contentment, I think is so key, you know, to our existence. And the truth of the matter is that you can be content, but at the same time be hungry. You know, but I think that sometimes what happens is that we're not content, you know, and we want to grab everything and anything. Look, listen, somebody has $1 million and still is trying to grab other people's things, you know, and I think that's the key, to always think about everybody else in the context of what you are trying to achieve, you know, and contentment is key, you know, and the thing is that, look, you may not have what you want in terms of maybe your life's aspirations, but if you look at what you have, I really believe that you will feel full and feel grateful for where you are, and I think that's key, you know. But if you're always looking at somewhere else, something else that you don't have, and all of those things, that's what Oprah is saying here, that you will never have enough.
Definitely.
You know?
And I think when we were children, we used to sing this song, count your many blessings, one by one, and it was surprising what the Lord has done. And I think a lot of us took it for granted, but as we got older,
you realize how true it is.
When you're going through something and you're thinking, why didn't I get that job promotion? Why was I not made the school prefect? You know, all the things, looking at your peers, like, okay, this person has a house. I don't have a house yet. This person has a car. I don't have a car yet. You lose sight of how far you've really come, you know, because it's really a marathon. It's not a sprint, and each one of us has a path that they're carving for themselves. So you may start out late, but no one knows what the next 10, 15, 20 years is going to look like. And the perception you have sometimes is even more important than the reality, because we feed into our perceptions. So if I walk into a room and I'm thinking, this person has A, B, C, D, and you know, then your inferiority complex will sink in, your imposter syndrome will sink in. So the things that you're supposed to even do, the little you're supposed to do to contribute to the puzzle, you're like, it's really not a big deal. It's insignificant. So let me just shrink. But if you change that perception to say, I've come from far. You know, we just celebrated teachers a couple of days ago. All the teachers who have invested in me, all the mentors I've had in my life. Even if I want to give up, I owe it to these people to keep going, count my blessings, and find a way to make my light shine within the small space I'm in. Then you are able to thrive. Even when you see people who are doing better than you, you're able to walk up to them, ask them for help. And I think, especially with our generation with social media, it's easy to look at what people are doing online and say, I'm not doing enough, and slightly even get to a point where you may envy them when you shouldn't. You should actually genuinely celebrate them for what they've been able to achieve.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important for us to stay grounded, you know, and this particular thing you just said will keep us grounded, you know, always. We do have a report for you that we want to look at this morning. Earlier on, one of our correspondents did a report for us on a 16-year-old girl who is fighting to beat the odds. Let's take a look at that report. We'll come back and continue.
Meet 16-year-old Priscilla Yeboah, a resident of Gomwa Dominacy in the Central Region. According to parents of Priscilla Yeboah, she suffered from a spinal defect at age 2, forcing her to drop out of school. Priscilla's condition got worse, forcing her parents to seek medical care at a facility in Aguna, Swedru, but several efforts to get Priscilla back to her old self has yielded no results. Ama Butri, Priscilla's mother, recounts how her daughter got her condition.
No, of course, kakra. The school ni ya beninti. Oh yeah, went to manko. No jai. No baby will be a queen. See ya calling. None alone. The baby are yan ya. At the time I'm going to panel. Nay, ye be a mammy abro. No, a mam to mo. No, then to my body. Went to my aunt to a home man, the few call. Here, class. The
United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 10 calls on countries to strive to reduce inequality within and among countries by empowering and promoting the social, economic, and political inclusion of all, including persons with disability. However, Priscilla's situation is a far cry from the SDG goal, as she has suffered segregation from childhood till now. Despite dropping out of school as a result of harassment from colleagues, students, Priscilla, who has no formal training in dressmaking, is dexterous. City News learned that Priscilla has taken it upon herself to teach young girls in her neighborhood about her trade.
Na Akua Dipom School.
Pacho Devi.
I don't know what was
Pacho Bialanche, man, I made the margin.
She is of the firm belief that although she has difficulties in walking and has no formal education, she will learn a trade to succeed in life. Uncle of Priscilla Yeboah, Ebenezer Kwame Donko, called for support for her niece to help her better her trade of becoming a professional seamstress.
She's very wonderful, you know. I don't know, people like that, God gives them special talents. And so I saw that she was able to pleat some hairs. She was able to use her own hands to do some clothes. And so for that matter, we saw that this is her God-given talent. So, but we need support for her because she wants to go and better what she's capable of and her innate capability. She wants to do it very well.
But what is the take of officials from the Ghana Federation of Disability Organization on Priscilla's condition? Michael Wanda Ayibe is the secretary for the association.
What you've just said may sound like she's a genius. She has learned it on her own. She's a genius. But why should she learn it on her own? What somebody can mentor her or train her? One could be stigmatization. One could be she's shy. If she's shy, what is making her shy? It's because society refused to accept her. Once society refused to accept her, she will feel shy to go close to people. When you are like that and you have friends who will come to you at home, oh, sister, come, let's go here. And they take their time for you. You can't walk fast. They take their time. They help you walk slowly. Sometimes where there is a ditch, they carry you over it. It encourages you. You know that you have been loved. So you will be encouraged to move out.
He, however, called for support from the general public to help Priscilla Yeboah achieve her dream of becoming a seamstress.
Society has failed. We are not supposed to sit down and watch it and say that, oh, once a government didn't do it, that is all. Even society, the chief in the community, knowing very well that they have a certain physically challenged person, can even organize the community. Oh, please, we need 5 bags of cement just because of this our daughter or this our son. Let's do a slope for her so that she can easily access a classroom and not drop out from school. It's a responsibility all of us need to bear in the society.
I am here with 16-year-old Priscilla Yeboah. Priscilla suffered a spinal defect, and that has brought some changes in her way of walking. Priscilla is calling for financial support from the general public to support her to buy a sewing machine so she could feed for herself and her family and also learn a trade. From Gomwa Dominance, I am Calvis Tete.
Well, that story there is very symptomatic of the challenges that we have in this country. She's clearly a fighter. She's clearly going to do very well in life just because of her attitude, you know. But it then speaks to the larger community, the larger society that we live in. Who are we as a people? Who are we in terms of our running or rushing to the defense of those who are less able than us? Who are we as a people? You know, yesterday was World Cerebral Palsy Day, and we had people in studio here, including a person who is living with cerebral palsy, and she has been living with it for 41 years, Farida Bedwe. You know, and the question just keeps coming to me, who are we as a people? At any point in time when we feel like we need to separate those who are physically challenged from the able-bodied people, that shows a certain backwardness in our thinking. It exposes a certain flaw in what we are striving to, claim to be progress. That's not progress. Progress is inclusion. Progress is when the weakest of us feels a part of us. This whole mindset of having special school for the blind, special school for the deaf, look, it may sound great in a certain rhetoric, but it speaks to who we are as a people, because we separate those who we can't deal with, those who we don't want to see them, we don't want to touch them, we don't want them to be part of our regular existence, but they're part of us. Dziffa?
Yeah. And for me, when I hear stories like this, I'm just reminded that not all disabilities are visible. Throughout our lifetime, we've all suffered from different kinds of disabilities. There were moments in my life where I suffered from an emotional disability, a mental disability, all forms of disabilities. But people around me did not treat me any differently. I was still expected to go to school and get good grades. I was still expected to show up to work. So that disability, there's no difference from anyone suffering from a physical disability. And I like the fact that she's confident. I like the fact that she's gone on to achieve whatever it is that she wanted to do in spite of
the
this challenge. And I think it's up to us as a society to provide an enabling environment for young women like her to thrive. And I'm sure we'll be following up with Calvis to find out how people have reacted since they heard her story. Because as soon as I saw it, I wanted to also do something to help her make this sewing thing a profession. Definitely. Now it's time for us to go around the country.
Yes.
Find out what's happening in the world
Regional
of news.
Roundup.
Let's take a look.
Hello, welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Regional News Roundup, which brings you up to speed information and current happenings from the regions. My name is Elvis Washington from the Greater Tema area. In this edition, there is uneasy calm in Chopoli, a community of the Tema Flower Highway in the Ningo Pram district, following what residents describe as the indiscriminate speeding by drivers on that stretch, which in most instances result in deaths. Last Saturday, 3rd October, residents there embarked on an exercise to erect speed ramps on that stretch of road following the instant killing of a 23-year-old young man by a speeding vehicle. The town folks, together with some of their leaders, embarked on an exercise to construct speed ramps, an exercise that resulted in heavy traffic on that stretch. According to the aggrieved residents, many appeals made to the Ghana Highways Authority to provide speed ramps on that stretch of road to forestall the persistent knockdowns have not yielded any result. The residents say even though the Ghana Highways Authority engineers were seen discharging some chippers in readiness to begin the construction, no contractor has been seen, hence their action. According to the residents, the death of the 23-year-old young man brings to total 18 the number of people who have been killed by speeding vehicles over a period of time. They have thus threatened to demonstrate heavily to push for their needs. In other news, residents of Akua suburb in the Katamanso municipality are up in arms against the municipality for what they term as a failure of the assembly and the government in constructing motorable roads for them. The residents say the assembly has shown bad faith in addressing the particular challenge of deplorable roads in the area. Some residents who spoke to City News say they are unhappy with the treatment meted out to them by the municipal assembly, although they pay their taxes regularly to the assembly. They say several calls on the assembly to come to their aid have all fell on deaf ears, hence their resolve to embark on a demonstration ahead of the December 7th general elections to press home their demands. And finally, to the last story, where some aggrieved parents of GIU International Christian Academy in the Katamanso municipality have presented a petition to the school authorities demanding an immediate withdrawal of a directive by the school asking parents to re-enroll their wards who are already students of the school. The parents say they were made to pay admission fees, among other things, before their wards were enrolled into the school. So they see no reason why their wards, who are continuing pupils, should be asked to pay another admission fees in order to remain in the school. They have thus presented a petition to the school calling for the immediate withdrawal of the directive. Interim chairman of the aggrieved parents, Thomas Soa, says the school needs to reconsider its decision since it runs contrary to President Akufo-Addo's directive on the reopening of schools. The petition, which was received by the accountant of the school, Richard Amwaku, noted that it will be channeled to the appropriate quarters for redress. And that ends today's edition of the Regional News Roundup. My name is Elvis Washington from the Greater Tema area.
Good morning and welcome to News Roundup on CCTV. My name is Fati Amin Ibrahim from the Ashanti region. In this edition, authorities at the VIP bus terminal in Kumasi want the government to institute measures to prevent the recurrence of robbery attacks on the Kumasi-Accra highway. Drivers who have had terrible experiences on the stretch tell City News they are uncomfortable anytime they ply the route for fear of being attacked. They have thus called on the government and the security agencies to help protect users of the highway. Their call follows an instance where some VIP buses and other private vehicles were reportedly attacked by armed robbers in the early hours of Monday. The authorities at the VIP terminal in Kumasi have thus urged government and the security agencies to ensure the issue is addressed, particularly as the 2020 general elections and the Christmas festivities approach. Away from that, some aggrieved NPP members who are running as independent parliamentary candidates in the Ashanti region have refused to rescind the decision even after President Akua urged party supporters to vote against them. The president last week called on NPP supporters, particularly in the Ashanti region, to vote massively against persons within the party who are running as independent candidates. In the Akua constituency of the Ashanti region, for instance, Eric Osei, a former organizer for the constituency, seems to be going ahead with his campaign. According to him, he has the support of the constituents, hence the decision to continue campaigning. Some of his supporters say the incumbent member of parliament for the area, Patricia Apieje, has not done enough in addressing their concerns, hence their decision to throw their weight behind the former organizer. Meanwhile, supporters of the incumbent member of parliament are optimistic she will retain the seat because of her hard work in the constituency over the years. That's all for News Roundup from the Ashanti region. My name is Fatih Amini Ibrahim.
Welcome to News Roundup here in the Upper West region. My name is Latif Mahama. A youth group affiliated to the governing New Patriotic Party in the Sisala West district of the Upper West region has petitioned the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to rescind his decision to revoke the appointment of the district chief executive for the area, Mr. Mohammed Zakaria Bako. The group, by name Sisala West Concerned Youth of MPP, at a press conference held at Bulu, says the dismissal of the DCE has the tendency of disuniting the party in the Sisala West constituency, hence their call. They fear the MPP will be defeated in the constituency if the decision is not reversed. Mr. Bako's appointment was terminated in a letter signed by the local government minister, Haji Alima Mahama, on the 29th of September 2020. The group, which believes the decision is an unpopular one in the constituency, has therefore called on the president to reinstate Mr. Mohammed Zakaria Bako. More than a year after the commissioning of the newly constructed Upper West Regional Hospital, the facility is yet to receive its seed capital from government. City news sources at the facility indicate that the situation has compelled management to resort to borrowing medical supplies and buying medicines on credit to attend to patients who seek treatment at the facility. The hospital is currently without an ambulance or a single official vehicle. The situation, coupled with inadequate doctors and other critical staff, is hampering healthcare delivery at the new facility. Management at the facility is tight-lipped on the concerns, but residents are calling on the government to resource the facility to enable it to adequately address the health needs of the Upper West region and beyond. In other news, residents of the Zini traditional area in the Sisala West district of the Upper West region has expressed grave concerns over the deplorable nature of roads in the area. The situation, they say, is impacting negatively on their socio-economic development. They recount how increasingly it is becoming difficult to connect to other parts of the district due to the breakage of major road culverts in the area. The paramount chief of the Zini traditional area, Guru Abu Diaka Sukebe V, speaking in an interview with City News, said the deplorable nature of the roads in the traditional area will inform their voting decision come December 2020. He has thus made a passionate appeal to the government to immediately address the situation. Finally, the Director of Health Promotion at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Dacosta Abuaje, is urging chiefs in the Upper West region to lead the campaign in ensuring strict adherence of COVID-19 safety protocols in the region. According to him, even though the nation's active COVID-19 case count is reducing, there is the need to continue to adhere strictly to all laid down protocols. The director was speaking at a meeting with members of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs in Wa. Dr. Abuaji, who doubles as the leader of risk communication at the Ghana Health Service, said the government has put in place the needed measures to prevent the spread of the virus at the community level, but that cannot be successful without the cooperation of community leaders in the country. The president of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs, Kuro Richard Babini Kantun the Sif, commended the government for the measures put in place so far to contain the virus. He assured that their members will cooperate fully with the government to curtail the spread of COVID-19 in the country. Reporting for City News, my name is Latif Mahama. Wa.
So there's a bit of news for you there across the country.
Yeah, so I mean, I keep thinking about how you know, different things are happening all around the place, and it's good for us to have this roundup for people to just get a sense of what's going on everywhere. Definitely. You know, in a quick bite. But talking about things that are going on everywhere as we're preparing towards elections, Voters Diary is that show that you need to be hooked onto. So Voters Diary takes place at 1 p.m. on Radio 97.3 City FM with Apena, Nyamiche and Pedu. And then at 3 p.m. with Vivian Kailoko. You don't want to miss that on City TV. All right, it's very important because it's Ghana's choice. It's your choice. You know, if you all the updates and the facts, the figures, the history, it's so important for us to hook into all of these things and make sure that we have good information based on which we are going to vote on. Yeah, we also have the Constituency. Constituency is a fantastic show that takes you right into the heart of the different constituencies around the country, bringing you the issues of real people on the ground and what it is that they want from the politicians, you know, and so on and so forth. So these shows are very, very well positioned to give us enough information and the power that we need to make a good choice, informed choice on the day of elections.
Definitely, and we also have Hello Mr. President for you. Today's Wednesday. We'll be taking a look at some of the stories that you submitted to us. But if you have not yet done so, it is an opportunity for you to bring the entire country into your neighborhood to let us know issues that are hindering your personal development and the growth of the people around you within your communities. It is about time that we actively participated in our own development, and it starts with us showing the world and the country issues that are happening around us that are making life a little bit too difficult for us to get ahead. Just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. Send that video to us via the email hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. You can also WhatsApp that video to us via the WhatsApp line 0550585832. If you don't have a camera phone, don't worry. You can text us exactly what you are experiencing to that email. Again, hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com, and that WhatsApp line 0550585832. Most times when we talk about politics and government, we focus so much on the politicians, but really we are the government. These guys, we vote them in power to serve us, and until we hold them accountable, they'll continue doing what they're doing, and our families will continue to suffer. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for Breakfast Daily. It's a packed show. Philip is going to join us later on to let us know what's going on in the world of technology.
Yes, absolutely.
And of course, wherever you're watching us from, the hashtag to join the conversation is Breakfast Daily.
Yes, the WhatsApp line is 0550585832. News review is up next. My name is David Kwaku.
And I am Dziffa Ametam. We'll be right back.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one, Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema, and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204 528 900 or 0244 707 859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the second floor of the GCB building. Website bethellogistics.com. Bethlog, experts in shipping logistics.
Equinfi Juice Factory is a 1D1F initiative funded by Ghana Exim Bank. Each juice brand, Equinfi Fruit Juice, is made from fresh pineapple and its quality is impeccable. All raw materials used in its production are purchased here in Ghana. The entire value chain has helped the community prosper by creating jobs for many Ghanaians, from farming, distribution, and retail. Due to its great taste and brand promotion, Equinfi Juice is available in supermarkets and shops all over Ghana. And just like Equinfi Juice Factory, there are other factories set up across the country under the 1D1F initiative in areas such as shea production, poultry, pharmaceuticals, sweet potatoes, avocado, tomatoes, mangoes, and more local businesses which are creating jobs and expected revenue. At Ghana Exim Bank, we call this the Made in Ghana 4P: produce, promote, purchase, and prosper. If as a people we believe in the Ghana beyond aid, then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our own products. Let's support Made in Ghana and let's take Made in Ghana to the world. One district, one factory. Ghana at work. Ghana Exim Bank, facilitating Ghana's international trade.
Hello and welcome to the news review segment on Wednesday. In some 61 days, some 2 months exactly today, Ghanaians will be queuing up, of course, albeit with social distancing because we are not in normal times, to vote. Election 2020 is in some 61 days. My name is Duke Mensopoku. Let's go through the newspapers and the major headlines as captured by the major news portals. We'll begin with the Daily Graphic. Conduct fair elections. President charges EC after filing. Council of State graphic pledge support for Rawlings. That's on page 16 of the Daily Graphic. I'm happy to get refund at last. That's from DK Poison, in reference to the gesture of government to pay back his money. Post-COVID-19 business recovery initiative launched. To the Ghanaian Times. Kennedy Japon's excuse duty is genuine, doctor tells court. President files nomination for re-election bid. I have no link with secessionist group. That's from the Volta Regional Minister. And President launches global business initiative to connect young people to entrepreneurs, investors worldwide. To the Chronicle. Aveime police attackers fished out. Buried AK-47 rifles, Tiabofre, really, retrieved from farm. I'm not interested in crooked results. Akua tells EC. I cannot be bent. Justice Wonta. To the New Crusading Guide. Heady days to December 7 polls. I'm not interested in any crooked results. president asserts. Women charged to lead Akufo-Addo's campaign. Chiabosum throws down the gauntlet as he files for December election. Exposing illegal mining a civic responsibility, that's from the Women Minerals Commission, and Amase won't says Osafumafu. To our final newspaper, The Finder. I want to win December elections on merit. That's from the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Joel Nete elected president of International Advertising Association. Ghana joins global partnership to rescue businesses ravaged by COVID-19. Parliament charges national security to quell secessionist threats. Debt suspension cancellation pose major risks. That's from the first deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Maso Opoku Afari. To the online platforms now, beginning with citynewsroom.com. John Mahama to submit nomination forms today. We've shown more commitment in fighting corruption, Mustafa Hamid. Nanado's confidence in EC hypocritical, that's from Otukono, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Help apprehend perpetrators of recent attacks, Asogli youth to Homeland Study Group Foundation. 66 suspected secessionists arrested so far in Volta region, Hajide. To citybusinessnews.com. Suspension of Ijapa IPO launch a step in the right direction. That's from the Civil Society Group. That's the picture of Dr. Steve Mantial. Volume and value will keep rising. That's from banking consultant Nana Otue Champon. More stories from citybusinessnews.com. Changing business trends. More fiscal shops now moving to online stores. Stakeholders must coordinate policies to tackle youth unemployment. That's from Austin Game. Nimon Ghana partners Cocoa Board to rehabilitate Nkoko to New Abrim Road. Two stories from myjoyonline.com. We shall deliver a credible and flawless election. That's from the Electoral Commission. For more news, log on to citynewsroom.com and City Business News for all the best in business news. Let me come back to the studio and introduce the panelists who will be doing the discussion with me on this edition of the program. To my right is Fatih Abubakar, Deputy Director of Communications at the Office of the President. Welcome.
Thank you, Duke.
To my left is Dziffa Tega, who is a member of the National Communications Team of the NDC. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, G.
So we'll take our first story, which has got to do with the filing of nominations. The President speaking after filing his nominations yesterday with all the pomp and pageantry and all the support that came up at that function at the Electoral Commission. So the story from citynewsroom.com, which is setting the parameters for us to have this discussion. I don't want to be president of crooked elections, Akufo-Addo. So we take the story now. The president, Nana Akufo-Addo, has said he does not want to be a president of flawed elections. President Akufo-Addo made this known when he submitted his nomination forms to the Electoral Commission today, Tuesday, October, so that's yesterday. Akufo-Addo said he hopes the processes put in place by the EC in the build-up to the general elections will enable Ghanaians to elect a president of their will. To quote him, "We are hoping that the arrangements that have been put in place will enable the Ghanaian people to manifest the will of the for the majority of people in the country. With you, Jean Mensah, and the leadership of the Electoral Commission are people who are committed to the free, fair, and credible and transparent elections. So I'll take your thoughts on this issue first, Fatih.
Okay, thank you, and thank you to your cherished viewers, and good morning to Dziffa.
Yeah, good morning.
First of all, I would like to use this opportunity to thank the press gesture as a listening and visionary, incredible and competent leader who always puts the Ghanaian first, for intervening in the case of Mr. DK Poison. It shouldn't take 44 years for some of our heroes to get what they are due. It shouldn't take them leaving this earth for us to start singing their praises and expressing how we love them and all that. So this intervention means so much to me personally, and I believe for all Ghanaians who are sports-loving people or who have followed the career of this astute Ghanaian is excited about this development. So, of course, I wasn't going to let this opportunity pass, but use it to thank the president. Yesterday, I was very excited about the president filing his nomination, but most importantly, about his comments. Okay. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as a human rights lawyer, as someone who has followed the politics of this country for decades, and has demonstrated that at every point in time, he will put our democracy first. He will make sure we uphold, not just observe, but he's committed to upholding every single democratic institution or mandate given to everybody. And that is why after the 2012 election, when we were dissatisfied with the outcome of the election, we proceeded to go to court and not to incite the New Patriotic Party followers to be involved in violence, to be involved in any other activity rather than seeking redress at the appropriate forum. That being said, President Akufo-Addo, in my view, and like that of many Ghanaians, is going to win this election massively at the back of his record. This is because we have a unique opportunity whereby the two leading candidates, obviously, who are going to be contenders in the 2020 elections, have had the opportunity to serve as presidents. Former President Mahama served as vice president and president together for 8 years. That record is not lost on us. The record of taking Ghanaians to IMF after our economy being one of the fastest growing in the world because we discovered and also explored our oil in commercial quantities. The record of Dumso and the fact that the ISA report that came out upon doing some survey with some 885 companies across the country who lost over 250 million, 55 companies folding up. And as of now, no NDC spokesperson or even the flag bearer has been able to convince Ghanaians that in those trying times, in those difficult times that the Ghanaians needed the NDC government most, they came to their aid. The record of the fact that 204 Ghanaians died due to cholera, and we did not get free water, we did not get free electricity. I saw how people at Abubloshi were suffering, and we don't have record of some of the most needed intervention of that government at the time.
But there's also the free water that has just been rolled out. There are some, persons. Last week there was a report from the Statistical Service about over 70% of households not benefiting from this as well.
You may have a right, but that right will accrue when you take certain steps. Of course, I can understand that maybe some rural communities, they may not have that kind of connection to the main pipeline. But for those who do, they have indeed benefited from it. it also explains why through the IPEP program, through Ministry for Zongo Development, through GNPC Foundation and other state agencies, trying as much as possible to get water systems and boreholes that are localized so that communities that do not have access to the main lines will benefit from it. But every single Ghanaian who is already connected to the main line had their rights accrued, and at least till December, 9 months of not paying any water bill from March. I think we cannot downplay the importance of that intervention. Okay. So that is our history. And I'm saying that Ghanaians have seen the record of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That if for nothing at all, 1.2 million young Ghanaians have had the opportunity of going to the senior high school for free. Free food, free tuition, free materials, free boarding, even abroad. I'm yet to find countries where when they say free education, it includes boarding facilities. Even abroad, you can take this opportunity to even check on that. So Ghanaians are going to the polls on December 7th on these records. And they also know the risk that lie ahead. That in the most unlikely situation, if they dare give the opportunity to former President Mahama, he would take away their NAPCO and give them in return the Unemployed Graduates Association. He would take the NHIS and in return take us to cash and carry, because President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had to pay 1.2 billion legacy debts under NHIS. And although the NHIS documents require that the turnaround period for service providers was supposed to be 90 days, and the NDC, it was taking the government one and a half years to pay service providers, or even worse. So we are confident that at the back of these records, which we will not relent, we will not rest on our oars, we will continuously inform Ghanaians about and educate Ghanaians about these records. They are going to vote for the president massively. And for that matter, we don't even need the intervention of the EC or anybody or any agency, but to encourage them to perform their constitutional mandates freely and fairly, okay, and give us a credible election.
All right, so let me come to Dziffa now. This was in apparent response to the comments that were made by former President Mahama, or candidate Mahama, when he was on cut short his tour of the Bunu region to address party faithful at the NDC headquarters, and made the comment that the party or himself as leader of the party would not accept the results of a flawed election.
Yeah.
And this is the response up from the president. What are your comments?
Thank you, Duke. Good morning once again. Good morning to your cherished viewers, and good morning to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I think when I saw what the current president said yesterday, it really looks like what people are claiming outside is getting to him, because that is why he thought it very necessary to address that in the first place. So you were saying that you have no intentions of partaking in any, in quotes, what he said about the elections, and it only tells you how many people are addressing these issues, especially because of what the EC has been doing, or the irregularities that we are experiencing in this whole registration process and the exhibition and the special registration exercise and everything. I think it's not far from it. When His Excellency John Dramani Mahama cut short his tour and came to Accra to address these issues, it was for very good reasons. We saw what was going on, and the EC debunked those speculations, but obviously it was clear that in the exhibition there was an attempt to suppress certain areas, or should I say, to cause some sort of damage in the coalition, or should I say, the album in certain areas that we know that we have a very strong representation there. So if President Akufo-Addo is addressing this issue, I'll just say let's go back and see his track record. Let's see how he has addressed all the problems that Ghanaians voiced out during this registration exercise, and everything in line with the EC, because he's the president, after all, he's the president of all Ghanaians. and not just a portion. What have you shown in relation to all the problems that we have claimed we are seeing, which are evident?
In terms of who is to work with regards to putting in place the necessary structures or the necessary mechanisms to have an election. That's not what the president.
No,
that's not the mandate of the president. That's the mandate of the electoral commission.
But I'm
so
saying
you
that
cannot attack him based on that.
No, you can't. No, I can't attack. No, I can't attack him based on that, because you can address anything that you have to as a president. You are the president of the Republic of Ghana.
But the EC is an independent institution.
No, addressing doesn't mean that you are taking, should I say, the EC's position and then putting things in place. Addressing means talking about it, or should I say, show compassion. Tell Ghanaians that, okay, I think I've realized the EC is doing this, and probably it's a mistake. I think it should be worked on or something. But then when you realize that the MPP is in bed with the EC, and funnily enough, they sort of side with everything that the EC did. Let me just give you an example of what happened during the special one-day registration exercise, where we have experienced a 30-day, a 1-month registration exercise. We never had to go online for anything. And then on just that one day, we are told that in the process of registration, it has to be, we have to go online to continue, and then back offline, when nobody was informed about this. And you know that before these things start, there are meetings before, a day before, where the party, the EC meets party officials and then discuss how the process is going to be like. And it was never addressed. Let me give you a typical example of when ID cards had to be exchanged during the exhibition exercise, and no one was talked to. And we are saying that all these happened after the EC insisted, dragged us from north to south, insisting that they want to do a new voters register, even though they had very, very little.
I thought the argument has moved from that.
No,
the party challenged it, the NDC challenged it,
and then court, yes, it went to court. I am just saying that.
And then the candidate Mahama agreed and said that they would give
we all agreed and we went forward with it. But I'm saying that when you have insisted so much, and you have given your own reasons and you have your way, we are only thinking that it will be a smooth process, it will be quite reasonable, and it will be done well. That is the reason why I'm referring to that. But we haven't seen anything of that sort. And every indication tells us how, I like to use the fact that the MPP and the EC are in bed with each other and seem to be one now against the rest.
The argument will be made that in the Charlotte Osei era,
was it? Was it?
No, that is the.
No, you have to give me examples.
That's the refrain from political actors in this country.
Examples
whenever
of what,
it changes.
No, you would have to give me examples of what Charlotte Osei did with the NDC. No, sure. Yeah. You have to give me examples of that to tell me that we were in bed with them, because there was nothing of that of that sort in the NDC era. So I'm just saying that what Akufo-Addo is saying, President Akufo-Addo is saying, is totally off it. We Ghanaians are suspecting, and we are so jittery, and we think that this is what is going to happen in the 2020 elections, and we won't allow it in any way. I would be shocked if he had said something different. But if he were to condone with any, suspicious results, then he should probably act like it. In any way, we are not going to back out. I just want to address, secondly, a few things that Fati also mentioned in her submission. And when he was talking about Dumso, I'm very passionate about Dumso. I like to ask everybody and for everyone to understand that Dumso wasn't something created by Mahama. It was something that had boiled up even from J. Kufuor's era. And then finally, it escalated in Mahama's era. And he solved it. And he solved it before he left power. And these people want to claim ownership of that thing that he did. I just don't understand. The man, we had a very big challenge with us as a country, and then we cleared it at a point where just in the first year of the NPP, when Bawumia came to radio and said that if you have solved Dumso, it isn't something that you should be applauded for, because after all, it is your responsibility as a president. So why then do the NPP want to strategically tag us with that? And you just don't understand. It's just to make it look as though we didn't do anything. I am asking, today Ghanaians are out there telling us that all the work that we did are there for everyone to see, and then we can't see anything that NPP did. This is after we had borrowed about just 56 billion, and the infrastructure is everywhere. We have touched all lives across the country. After the NPP have borrowed about 140 billion, you ask them, and they'll be like, free SHS this, free SHS that. I just want to tell Fatih, in any case, you should know that the National Health Insurance is not in any proper shape at all. It is not in any proper shape.
In terms of the payment of the premiums, there were always challenges, and I mean, Christian Health Association of Ghana, others would always bring up issues about their claims not being paid. At least in the last 3.5 years, that refrain has subsided quite a lot.
Well, if it has subsided quite a lot, it doesn't change the quality of what we are experiencing now. Because, as I tell you, my national service is only able to give me consultation. And everything else, I pay for it. So if you are, I don't even see, probably you can just talk about what you claim you came to pay, but you shouldn't talk about how you have brought it back on track. National health insurance isn't in the best shape at all. So when I put some of these points together, I just want to urge every Ghanaian to just weigh the options, 140 billion versus 56 billion, and let's see what the NPP have to show for it. And they shouldn't just make so much noise about free SHS as though it is what is going to govern the entire country.
Okay.
That is not what they promised. They promised far more than that.
All right, let me give you the opportunity to respond briefly.
First of
we have
all,
about 3 minutes, and after that you can
first of all, let me tell Dziffa that I can take free SHS out and mention 278 out of the 303 promises that we have fulfilled or fulfilling, and our free SHS will not even make the cut.
I can't wait to hear it.
We always mention it because of impact. That is the essence, impact. Let me show you something. The Ghana Living Standard Survey in 2015 showed that unemployment rate in this country stood at 11.9%. In 2019, it had reduced to 8.4%. What happened? It is because this government has continuously and consistently looked out for the Ghanaian and set out to create jobs through the formal and informal sector, through some of the interventions that the government has started, through the 1D, 1F, through interventions like the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan, helping SMEs with capital, through the NBSSI, and other interventions that this government brought on board. And you won't even mention free SHS. The legacy of the erstwhile Mahama administration and the health sector should not even be mentioned. Who calls for the arrest of the former head of the NHIS, Mr. Stamensa? Was it not former President Mahama? Why was that done?
But that investigation, he was cleared after the investigation ended.
Which one?
Be fair.
Is there a report of him being cleared? Was it not reported that because party faithfuls were making noise that if they don't release him, they will ban Ghana? That was why he was released. Okay. Not because he was cleared. There is no report whatsoever. The state just discontinued the case because they were afraid of their foot soldiers at the time. My point is that the record of former President Mahama under the health sector is that the whole of Ghana, of 30 million Ghanaians, we only had 55 working ambulances. But now let me even state the most important thing to you. I'm showing you a story on City FM Online, which was reported in 2016 that election rigging allegation absurd nonsense, in quotes, by President Mahama. President John Mahama has rubbished claims by his political opponents that the Electoral Commission EC is scheming to rig the upcoming election. But the president at a rally in Funsiwa, East constituency of the Upper West region, rubbished those claims. Is this new?
It's not.
So why is it that the NDC, as if they have never put the EC in their good books, in quotes, and all of a sudden they are so dissatisfied with the performance of this EC because they decided to compile a new voters register. The Electoral Commission at the time, where claims by the commissioner and deputies were that this person is in bed with political parties and collected this amount of money to do illegal transfers. All the allegations and audio are all out there for people to see. Did the EC at the time even had the credibility when those at the helm of affairs were fighting all over in the media?
We'll have to take a break.
I'm surprised
here.
that all of a sudden there can be a U-turn of this sort.
Yeah.
because the NDC doesn't have records.
Okay, so we'll take a break here, and when I'm back, Dziffa Tega would have the opportunity to make to respond to the comments made by Fatih Abubakar. Keep your messages coming in via the numbers that have been advertised on your screen. We'll take a break here.
In darkness, keep your light on, for the shadows they move. I'll keep you safe from harm.
Hello Ghanaians, my name is Mrs. Kosi Yankee Aye. I am the Executive Director for the National Board for Small Scale Industries, NBSSI. Through the CAPBAS initiative, we have disbursed funds to over 100,000 beneficiaries across the nation. Several local businesses have seen the impact of our work, and we will continue to give more of them hope amidst this global pandemic era that has negatively impacted all of us.
MBSSI, a new era for SMEs.
Welcome back from the break. This is Breakfast Daily, the news review segment. I still have in studio Fatih Abubakar, Deputy Director of Communications Office of the President, and Dziffa Tega, National Communications Team member of the NDC. Let me bring in some comments that have just come through on our WhatsApp line. Mustafa from Lower Manya Krobo says, when you vote for people with vision into power, almost 4 years in government, they will still blame the previous government for their inability to execute their promises. So let's vote massive for John Mahama and his parliamentary candidates to come and implement the NDC's People's Manifesto. So Uncle Ato from Spintex also says that John Mahama, who was defeated in government 2016, shall surely be defeated heavily beyond complaint by Nanado on December 7th because of the very hard work of the MPP government in a short while. 4 more to do more. My regards to Honorable Elizabeth Afolekwe and to Honorable Lydia Seram Al-Hassan. So before we went on the break, we were wrapping up on the point about...
Yeah. So finally, let me quote this. It's more important than every submission that I'll make this morning. I'm quoting former President John Dramani Mahama at Fonsi. In quotes, if you notice, in the run-up to the election, there has been a consistent criticism of the Electoral Commission. Indeed, they have said the most unspeakable things about the chairman of the Electoral Commission, and that is all preparing the minds of their supporters for when they lose, so they will lose. So when they lose, they can blame the Electoral Commission as not being neutral, unquote.
Okay.
So the NDC's agenda is to prepare its members' minds so that when they lose the election, they will have someone to blame, and not for the fact that Ghanaians passed the vote of no confidence on them in 2016 because of the abysmal performance of the previous government.
Okay.
Duke, it looks like what Fatih is saying here means that in 2016, what John Dramani Mahama said, that is what they were actually doing. It looks like she believes that that is what they were doing because now we are in a position and she thinks that is exactly what we are doing. Now, let me say that Charlotte Osei's name that is being dragged right now and the confidence people are losing in her, it isn't just because she's the EC. It is because of the whole registration process. In 2016, there was no registration whatsoever. So it's not as though, sorry, not Charlotte Osei, Jean Mensah. So it's not as though Jean Mensah has been appointed the EC, and all of a sudden no one likes her, of course. How Charlotte Osei was taking off and Jean Mensah appointed, that is a different matter for a different
So that's an issue for the political actors to deal with. And that's the point I was making about how the goalpost shifts and change anytime there's a difference in administration in this country.
No,
for the political party actors.
That is what the MPP seems to be used to. I am saying that in 2016, she should tell me exactly what it is that Charlotte Osei, the EC by then, did that showed that she was in bed with us, or that shows that we were, you know, siding with her in any way. Here, I'm telling you that there are incidents that have taken place within the registration period and the reviewing of the album and all those periods are what people are complaining of. Our people and Ghanaians out there are complaining about. So you wouldn't tell me that it is because we think we'd lose. And in any way, there is no way, unless, you know, you are seated in your office and locked your door, and then probably just you just have a few MPP platforms that you concentrate on, then you don't know what is going on in Ghana. Ghanaians are outraged. They are disappointed. They thought they fell for lies and deceit by the president, the current president, and the NPP as a whole. It was all full of talk and no action whatsoever. Okay. It is rather no, allow me, please.
We have two other issues to discuss.
Sure,
so we can
but
wrap
then
up on that point.
let me just wrap up. But then it is rather a family and friends affair and dealing with nothing, not up to half. Fatih was telling me that she can even list about 200 and how many things that they have.
Yes, if you give me the time, I'll do that.
I hope that we give you the time someday, because and the things that we would mention are definitely things that are pictures that you probably copied from somewhere. There isn't any.
We don't use Green Book. Is that NDC that was using Green Book?
Recently, there was a project,
and there is nothing there.
Of a sea defense.
I'm talking about proper projects that have been implemented by this government.
And when is it?
NDC thinks project is all about.
To be fair to our
Green Book was full of projects that we are attesting to now. They are showing. What project have you done? What project has the NPP done?
To be fair to our viewers,
let me just show you.
I'm saying we've reduced unemployment rate.
You can take it one. Yeah.
We have
when you have collapsed several Ghanaian banks, rendered people jobless throughout.
55 jobs collapsed under Dumso. Which of the 55 did you get intervention?
So mention those 55 jobs that are not back on track after we solved Dumso. Tell me, because it was a national problem.
So for cholera, what was the government's intervention?
You are claiming that there was nothing.
There was nothing like cholera. Okay,
we have to move to the second issue.
Let me leave that for the viewers to judge.
I think they will.
Ghanaians are voting cholera under former President Mahama,
and no malaria under. Like there is no malaria under Akua.
We have to move on.
Sure,
we have to move on to the second issue. Of course, it's related to the issues regarding this year's elections. So, Kodeo tasked EC to address provisional voter registration challenges ahead of polls. Story published on citynewsroom.com says the coalition of domestic election observers wants the Electoral Commission to, without delay, resolve what has been identified as challenges with the provisional voter register. This the coalition says is to ensure no voter is disenfranchised in the 2020 general elections. In its pre-election environment observation statement for the month of September, Kodeo indicated that there exist stakeholder engagement and communication gaps leading to the register-related concerns, thus the need for more consultations to remedy the situation. And to quote the report, Kodeo entreats the EC to take all necessary steps to rectify the identified challenges with the provisional voters register so that all registered voters are able to exercise their right to vote, while the coalition acknowledges the public explanations provided by the EC regarding the challenges identified with the provisional register. The coalition believes there are still gaps in the stakeholder engagement and communication. I'll begin with you, Dziffa.
Okay, so I think this is in line with what were even some of the points that we gave in a previous submission. There are matters to be addressed. Kodeo just came out. So this is not an NDC organization. I'd be surprised if someone I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to link it up, because they are saying the truth. We need to address certain issues that happened during the registration period. They were very serious issues. Some of them the EC debunked, but it was clear in our eyes. We are saying solve them. We just have about less than 70 days, just about 65 days to elections. And what we have is the provisional lists, or should I say, yeah.
So the certified one has not been published, obviously, because of the challenges that have existed over the period of the registration.
Exactly, missing names, double ID numbers.
But they've given the assurance that they are rectifying it.
No, what is assurance? Even when they said they would do it, they didn't do it. What is the assurance? The assurance is not what the people want. My dear, when I tell you I'll give you something, it isn't what you want to hear. You don't want to hear, I'll give it to you. What you want to hear is it has come. Here it is. So it isn't assurance. And I said, the EC has muddied their name, and they have a very bad track record from what they have done all these, like, should I say, the entire year. All that we are saying is that let us see it before time, so that what your final presentation, we are very sure that there is nothing or there is no problem whatsoever, and then we know we are entering the elections with this. That is all we are saying. So when you tell me, Duke, when you tell me that they have assured, assurance is nothing. In fact, we are scared of that assurance.
Because you don't trust the process
we do not trust
of what the Electoral Commission and what they've done so far with regards to the process.
Yes, we don't trust them. We don't trust.
But they are supposed to be the arbiter. If you don't trust them, that's a challenge for the whole quality.
I think that is our problem, right? But all I'm saying is that we don't trust you. It doesn't mean that you are not the one in charge. You are the one in charge. So finally, bring it on time. Let us see what you said you would do, all the corrections, the massive errors, unprecedented. Like, you don't even understand how such errors were worked on, especially when you know that after the compilation of the register, it goes through a process of, I'll use the word editing, before it is even brought out for exhibition. And then it was as muddy as you never expected it to be. So we just have 65 days to the elections. Kindly provide a stable album for us to look through, and let's know that this is certified and that we have no issues again. Because the issues that came up during the registration exercise looked like it was our strongholds were being attacked, and we aren't comfortable with it. That is when I tell you that we don't trust the EC. You should understand me, because we feel that our strongholds are being attacked. So kindly sort out the messed up areas on time. Let us see it, and then we go underway. And then let me add, before you tell me my time is up, I just wanted to address one last thing that Fati said in the previous submission that she made. She was mentioning cholera. And you mentioned cholera as though Mahama went to bring cholera. As though people are not having malaria and cholera right now.
So President Akua
no.
President
Akua Okay, so we'll go. Let me. I am addressing. She has already said hers. I am addressing. Allow me to say what I have to say. So you do not tell me cholera when people are dying of malaria every day. You are saying President Akufo-Addo
No, you said Mahama didn't bring cholera.
No. I am telling you that issues like cholera, malaria are happening every day. So are you telling me that he put a blind eye to cholera?
Please,
he put a blind eye.
The viewers who you are seeking to convince.
So what did he do? What was former President Mahama's intervention in cholera?
We are seeking to convince.
What was the intervention?
The viewers we are seeking to speak to would not hear if everybody is
You basically don't even have any track.
What is the intervention? So what did they do?
Because you think that there was any free water. Not water. So what was the intervention?
Am I talking or she's talking? No, Dziffa, what was the intervention on cholera?
Am I talking or she's talking?
Guys.
No, am I talking? No, you. Am I talking or she's talking? This is my time. Absolutely. Let me not be interjected. This is my time. Can I talk?
Okay. So you just have maybe a minute to wrap up what you were talking about. Dziffa, Fati would have the opportunity to also respond to that matter. Are we?
Sure, that's fine. So I have finished addressing the issue of of Kodeo. I think it's as simple as that. And they are urging the EC to back up with whatever they are doing so that everybody will be at peace. That is basically it. Now, Fati is asking me what are the interventions that Mahama put in place during this cholera thing. I have to address it because it will look like I have nothing to say. When there were several toilet facilities and boreholes that were built to help easy access of water. You are telling me that because it wasn't free. And let's not forget that the MPP have they are in the business of deceiving Ghanaians with free stuff and of very low quality. You are telling me today you are giving free water for 9 months, even though it's not 9 months. And then because Mahama didn't do it, it means that he didn't address cholera. Or you think that it is only free water that addresses cholera. There were a lot of things that he put in place. I've just given you 2.
All right.
And it's not about free. You go around deceiving people with free. At the end of the day, our next water bill will be like 10 times.
I guess you have nothing to say.
So I think
So what did we do?
You'll be given the opportunity to make the point. So please.
That's fine. No, Fatih doesn't have a fact. You have to put her fact right.
You know. Sorry. You know what? I was listening to Dziffa and I just had to hold myself because
you will hold yourself. You will hold yourself.
I think the interjections don't help the point.
The NDC has nothing to say, but most importantly, let me address the EC's issue. If what Dziffa is saying here is the position of the NDC, then there is no need to go to IPAC. Why does the EC, upon the constitutional mandate, has CI? What does the CI 91 do? What is the calendar of the EC, even in the absence of COVID? What is the purpose of exhibition? The Electoral Commission in previous elections, in future elections, in the current election, will do exhibition of provisional voters register to identify mistakes and errors. That is the purpose. The exhibition is not for fun. It's not to keep Ghanaians standing under the sun. It's not to waste anybody's time. It is because during the registration, there is potential multiple registration efforts. There is challenges at the registration center. There are minors. There are human beings sitting behind computers, and there can be entry errors. There can be misspelling of names and all manner of errors during the registration. And it is the reason why the Electoral Commission and stakeholders ensure that before the election there is an exhibition exercise to offer the Ghanaian people the opportunity to go back to the polling station to get these errors corrected. Upon that, this time around, the Electoral Commission introduced the 1422 that you send your voters' ID number to it, and then your records from your polling station and everything will pop up. And with time, I can give you a screenshot of mine, and for you to see that it actually works.
It's only yours that will work.
I think we had the...
Sure, we agree.
The EC system or computers or what have you don't know the name of Fatih, don't know who Fatih is. When they took my data, they did not put NPP there, they did not put information about my work there. The fact is that exhibition is for the purpose of correction. So what was Dziffa expecting? That the exhibition was supposed to be a fanfare for people to go to the polling station and walk around. Duke, in any case, the Electoral Commission is one of the most decentralized institutions in this country, because all the way from Accra to the district offices to their temporary structures to get people to work at the polling station is so tight that even the NDC, their general secretary said that elections are won at the polling station. So if there is a turnaround and all of a sudden the NDC believes that Madame Jean Mensah can sit in Accra and cause the votes at Joje or Ho or my village in Garu or Moshizongo to change, it tells the kind of walking contradiction that the NDC as a party is, and the inconsistencies in their statements and the lack of synergy and unison in their communication, and they are not able to drum home exactly what they mean when they say the EC is not doing its work.
But the concerns raised by Kodeo, shouldn't they?
It has nothing to do with the NDC. It has nothing to do with them. In terms of substance, they are encouraging the Electoral Commission to do its work and work on identified errors. We in the NPP also encourage, many stakeholders encourage same. Because what do we want? At the end of the day, on December 7th, we want an Electoral Commission that can compile a credible voters register and deliver a free and fair election, and that will be able to count the votes and deliver. What happened in 2016? I'm surprised that Dziffa will even say negative things about the Electoral Commission, because I believe she voted then. She knew what happened. For 3 days, did you even know our results?
I see when you
and for a party like NDC, whose campaign manager, Professor Joshua Alabi says, as of now, they don't even know the results of the election. They couldn't, as a party, they couldn't even put themselves together to compile the results and come out with the votes they got. It means they know that at the end of 7th December, when they lose the election, they don't have capacity to put together records to even seek redress if they have to. So they will incite people, as the former president said, that in opposition, you just psych your people so that when you lose the election, they will have an excuse for you. But we want to say one thing. This is the only Ghana we have. Nobody should hold us for ransom. We are not going to allow that. The EC has a mandate. If we disagree, we are a party of liberals. We are a party of opinionated people. Of course, everybody needs to express those opinions. But we won't allow speculations and conjecture and lies and everything to reign in the media space for the NDC to get a walk-off with that. We won't allow that.
Okay. Let's move on to our final issue, which has got to do with the matters regarding the threat of secession. Yes, that is the last issue that we'll be dealing with right here on the Breakfast Daily. With regards to that, we'll take the story, help apprehend perpetrators of recent attacks, Asogli youth to Homeland Study Group. And the story put together by Benjamin Aklama says the Asogli state youth and warriors have thrown a challenge to members of the Homeland Study Group Foundation to join them in helping state security agencies to unravel recent happenings in the Volta region if it's indeed not involved in recent troubles attributed to the group. It will be recalled that a group of people suspected to be members of the association advocating for the creation of a Western Togoland state out of Ghana blocked roads leading to the Volta region and attacked 2 police stations. The group also attacked the State Transport Corporation yard in Ho and set one of the company's vehicles ablaze. The Asogli traditional state youth and warriors, in noting the Homeland Study Group's opposition to the violence, urged its members to join them in finding justice. And to quote a portion of the statement, says, "We therefore want to lend our fullest support to the call of our traditional leaders on the warriors to rise up and protect citizens to complement the efforts of the state security apparatus, since security is a shared responsibility." I'll begin with you.
Okay. So I don't know how many minutes that I have, but
yes,
I'll just
have just about 8 minutes to end of the program. So you take 4 minutes. Fatih speaks for 4 minutes, and then we wrap up.
Okay, sure. So I think that this particular issues with the secessionist group it rather has a very funny timing. You understand? We had, I think it was around last year, that they really resurrected. They have a history. We agree with that. And what is going on in the Volta region is quite appalling, especially because I think that the government isn't even dealing with this matter as they should, as seriously as they should. And also because these people are not supposed to have that much power. How many are they? How region? So I can tell you that this is not an issue where you have all Voltarians, or let's say even half of Voltarians, or even a quarter of Voltarians, or even 1/10 of Voltarians in support of what is going on. We do not know anybody associated with these secessionist group. We have no idea where they are from at all. And per the NDC's investigations, we realize that it is actually a scam. It is in hopes to suppress. No, I am making a point. Would you allow me?
I've not made any comment.
I realize you're about to talk. So in the NDC, we have realized upon our investigation that it's actually an attempt to suppress us and to cause so much fear during the election period, so that you know that the issues that are going on there aren't, or should I say, there isn't a safe environment to go out and vote for Ghana when your people are calling for a separation. The Asogli group, I think they are doing their best that they can. I think I support what they are doing by coming out and realizing that they have to defend themselves, come together, and stand for themselves, or should I say for ourselves as Voltarians, and support the security groups. That is, even if they are supporting us at all, in trying to prevent more attacks from these people. What happened in the STC yard at Volta region, I think it was the whole STC, Hohoi or Ho, one of them, it just didn't add up right. You just realize that this group of people come, burn up a whole institution, and they are not able to.
That's now 66 persons have been arrested.
Have been arrested, and
investigations are underway.
So you see, in the MPP, that is what we realize, or should I say, in the government, we arrest people and calm down the country that they are being arrested, and then things are being taken forward. I don't see what has been done again.
Okay, all right.
No, allow me to just end. So you arrest 66 people, and there has been how many days, and then no proper investigations have been done forward to, should I say, find out where their roots are from.
Okay.
And we generally realize that we are not going to end there in any way. There is no way we are even going to get to the root of this, because as I said, what we have on our table tells us that this is an orchestration by the NPP and it has an agenda. So I
that's
think
not something we can prove here.
No, we can't prove. This is my own. This is what I am alleging. So you can put that on me. So I just agree with the group that have come out to gather themselves, and then whoever has to support them, and then in line with the security groups, put something together and see how we can also defend ourselves from these secessionists.
There's an accusation that government has not dealt with this issue very well.
That is absolutely false. And first of all, let me use the opportunity to state as a fact and as a government spokesperson that what Dziffa is saying is not true. What is happening in the Volta region is never an orchestration by this government.
I know you deny it.
I don't know how a government in power that is looking for resources to develop this country will invest in such a venture. And I don't even know how such a thought will come in the mind of Dziffa, unless she knows those who started it and she knows what their reasons are and what they are about.
I've just given you the reason.
They are unknown to us. So if we allow such speculations and such lies to go on big platforms like this, by the time you realize, people are carrying it along. But let me move on to my substantive points. That I will urge politicians, especially those of us who have platforms and get the opportunity to address the masses, to be cautious, to be circumspect, and to be human before politicians in our utterances, so that we don't incite, we don't engineer, we don't start what we can't finish. If for nothing at all, we know precedents of what such utterances have done in other jurisdictions like Rwanda and so on, and it's ugly. So let's not encourage that. Let's not find innocent people to blame when there is an issue, instead of addressing it and advocating for the young people to calm down and for the good people of Volta region to bring the few miscreants to the attention of security services so that they can nip this monster in the bud. This government is committed to developing the Volta region, just as any part of this country. You know, under 1D1F in Home Municipality, we have funded Caltech for them to change machinery and expand through funding from Exim Bank, technical training. We have helped them with processing and scaling up, processing of cassava into ethanol and scaling up so that they can employ the good people of Ho. On top of that, you know about the catapult. We have through the ministry.
There have been some concerns raised about it of late with regards to its existence.
You left Volta region from a whole budget. You left Volta region from a whole budget. When you were saying that you care about Volta,
I did not interrupt. The NDC has had 27 years in recent history. If anybody has let the Volta region down, it is the NDC.
Could it be a mistake?
It is the NDC who during election, I did not even have my time. It is the NDC who during election turn Volta region into their World Bank, and when it is time for development, they turn it into a susu box.
Well, that is,
it is the NDC that has led them. The young people of Volta region,
news review segment
the young people
with some comments coming in from Upper West region. For the purposes of our viewers, please. For our viewers, this conversation is for the benefit of our viewers. Please don't shout and disrupt the conversation. So that's how we wrap up today's edition of the News Review. I had in studio Fatih Abubakar, who is Deputy Director of Communications, Office of the President, and Dziffa Tega, who is Dziffa Tega is the National Communications Team member of the National Democratic Congress. That's how we wrap up today's discussion. The other segments on Breakfast Daily continues right from here. Thank you.
It is Christmas. What do you want for Christmas? A new car, a vacation, or expand your business? Make your wish and have it come true in the 100 days of Christmas with a Republic Bank Christmas loan. The Republic Christmas loan is quick, easy, and so affordable with super fast turnaround time. Come into any of our branches nationwide. Call or WhatsApp 055-654-3212 or apply online via republicghana.com. Remember, wear your nose mask, stay safe. Republic Bank, we are the one for you.
The Confucius Factory is a 1D1F initiative funded by Ghana Exim Bank. Each juice brand, Equinfi fruit juice, is made from fresh pineapple and its quality is impeccable. All raw materials used in its production are purchased here in Ghana. The entire value chain has helped the community prosper by creating jobs for many Ghanaians, from farming, distribution, and retail. Due to its great taste and brand promotion, Equinfi juice is available in supermarkets and shops all over Ghana. And just like Equinfi Juice Factory, there are other factories set up across the country under the 1D1F initiative in areas such as shea production, poultry, pharmaceuticals, sweet potatoes, avocado, tomatoes, mangoes, and more local businesses which are creating jobs and expected revenue. At Ghana Exim Bank, we call this the Made in Ghana 4P: produce, promote, purchase, and prosper. If as a people we believe in the Ghana beyond aid, then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our own products. Let's support Made in Ghana and let's take Made in Ghana to the world. One district, one factory. Ghana at work. Ghana Exim Bank, facilitating Ghana's international trade.
Abba! Play the golden goal on Bet Planet today with just 20 Ghana cedis. You could win a Mercedes and 100,000 Ghana cedi worth of prizes. This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below the age of 18.
There are those with untold stories, unraveled feats, life-changing stories, and lasting legacies. They tell their stories themselves on footprints. Yes.
Oh, at some point, well, we are taking the step. Unfortunately, he was dragging the country into an abyss. Yeah. So we saw it. But they have held power, the guns and so forth. Who were we to? We just watched. But by, I believe, 74-5, the country was seeing through him. That this man was a total misfit.
But he was a happy man.
But because in Akan, there's a proverb. It's a kwasia na no so nsuya o so chati.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to their outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps through time.
We have one of our, school member died or whatever, so we have to go there and perform during the funeral, whatever. And then I was feeling thirsty, so there was but those days it's not like pure water or whatever. They sell the water in the bottle. Yeah, stuff like that. So there was a bottle there. I thought it was just a water. No, it was aquateshi, So I just took it. When I drank it, before I realized, Charlie. So what happened to me? I was like, Charlie, I'll never touch it. So since then, I've never touched alcohol.
Okay, so you didn't drink alcohol, and you never smoked?
Smoke, no way. No.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
Never.
Then who comes out of the car?
Chachu Chikata and Kojo Chikata. Chachu told me that they have, Kojo was sick since the morning and he has been tortured and whatnot, and they have come for medical attention. Of course, naturally, I have to look after them, even though they are very close relatives. So I look at Kojo, I examine him, I notice that he's definitely been tortured. And, there was blood, deep-seated blood in the ears. You can see that clearly.
So join me, Samuel Atamensa, and my guests every Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. for Footprints, only on City TV.
Footprint is sponsored by Bethel Logistics Company Limited, experts in shipping logistics.
That's kind of cynical. I mean, because I'm not sure that all that we have done have necessarily been to the benefit of middle class or wealthy people. So we will get to that.
Tune in to The Point of View this and every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. as I, Bernard Avile, get the right guests, ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you.
When MBB came, because they were not putting money in the sinking fund.
They were not putting money in the sinking fund.
Yes.
That's why this curve is going up.
The money was going to the sinking fund, but it was not being applied to debt.
I think that there's a lot of apocryphal conspiracy theories around. And it's not different from 5G causes coronavirus, COVID-19 and things like that. So there's been this long-term held belief that somehow there are some people that have planned that they will bust hundreds of thousands of people to come and change Ghanaian electoral outcome. There is no evidence for it. There is absolutely no evidence for it.
I am saying that we have very professional herbalists in this country whose capacity I know because I've tried it. But also there are quack ones within them. And the earlier we weed them out, the better for us.
Remember, The Point of View is live every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on City TV.
The Point of View is powered by Airtel Tigo. Have you heard that Airtel Tigo calls from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Airtel Tigo money transfers are now free on new SIMs? Now you know. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple. And Lydia Contraceptive. With Lydia, you truly decide.
All right, welcome back. And it's time for us to have a conversation in the consumer tech segment. Now, today we're going to be looking at working with a smartphone in a smartphone ecosystem. So whether you need a device, whether you don't need a device, when it is you need, when it is you don't need. Philip Kofi Ashong has joined me today on the set. Philip is the host of City Trends on 97.3 City FM and also the head of production here at City TV. Good morning, Philip.
Oh, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Fantastic.
And see, today I came bearing gifts.
You brought the gadgets.
I have two gadgets. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to pick up the watch, the Galaxy S Watch 3, because I was, it's been a long day. So we have and we spoke about these devices a couple of weeks ago. We have the Galaxy Tab S7, and then we have the Z Fold 2. The one that's this is the most interesting one because you can fold it, and so Kwaku is going to do that very carefully. As he opens the device, you can see that that's
the thing folds.
I mean, that's why it's called a Z Fold, right? I mean, there's also the Flip as well, but this is the Z Fold, Z Fold 2. It's basically it comes in two sizes, either the 256 or the 512.
Okay.
It has a 12 gig RAM, and you basically have
crazy specs.
And think about it. I always do the comparison with laptops. I mean, this device here in your hand, I'm sure most people remember the Nokia communicator, for example. It looks exactly like it, but with this, you know, when you flip it open, like you did a couple of seconds, bring yourself up into a tablet type mode. You know, and you basically have sort of like a tablet that you're working with. And one of the things I really like about this device, for example, is when you're taking a selfie. So I'm going to put on the camera, and so what I can do is I can flip a switch in here, and then you can see yourself right there on the back. So if you're supposed to take, so you go ahead and take a selfie while I walk us through the tablet. So let's say you were taking a selfie. So you set the timer, for example, as most people would typically do. You point the back camera, and the good thing is once you point the back camera to yourself, you're getting clearer pictures. You know, if you don't want to use a selfie camera, the selfie camera is pretty dope as well. You know, so I mean, it's great for a lot of things, but one thing that
actually see.
You can see it right there. One thing I really like about this device is how it works in terms of multitasking, because once you flip it open, you can have about 3 different applications open. So for example, you're sending an email, you want to make a quick reference to a PDF or something, and you're playing music and you want to switch the music, you can have all 3 of them open in the tablet format. And then when you close it, one of the apps will be the main one that will be on the front. And you're good to go. You know, so you have quite a bit of, you know, space within which to maneuver. Now this little, okay, it's not so little. This little device here, go on. So that is the Galaxy Tab S7, which was also released a couple of weeks ago. We reviewed it, or at least we reviewed the event on the show. So that's a tablet, and behind it is the stylus that typically comes with it. Now what's interesting is that it's magnetically connected to the tablet. Once you connect it, it charges automatically, and you know, you have quite a number of specs in there. You are dealing with either, you know, a 128 or a 256 gig in terms of storage space. You have a 13 megapixel camera right there on it. You will either get it in 6 gig or 8 gig RAM, and you have an 8,000 milliampere battery that is hooked onto that thing. It's 11 inches. You have an 8,000 milliampere. That tells you just how much.
But this thing can go for days.
If this phone here is giving you 4,500 milliamperes, imagine what sort of battery capacity you're going to get. Now let's come to the core issue that we are dealing with today on the show. Now, you have all these devices, and remember when we started talking about the Samsung releases and what it does within the ecosystem in terms of Samsung preaching the gospel of the ecosystem. This is what we're talking about. So let's say I have my watch, I have my phone, and I have my tablet. Now question is, which of them should I buy first? Which of them should I keep? Which one of them should I let go of? In using these devices, one of the first things I say is that these devices are just an extension of yourself. What is your life like? What do you typically do? Do you go for meetings? Are you predominantly an artist? Are you predominantly someone who goes out to do reports and things like that? How much income, for example, do you have to support, you know, some of these devices? Mind you, the Galaxy Fold 2, the Z Fold 2 is going for $12,499. So put that in a bit of perspective. That little device there, 11 inches worth, is actually going for $4,599. Now, the watch as well is going for $2,499. So you have to think about the economy of it. How does this device I'm getting contribute to either the work I'm doing or make my work better? If you're an artist, for example, you design, you know, for different companies and things like that. My thinking is that
this would be
that device should be one of the first things to think about. Not necessarily because it's a shiny, cute with a stylus, but because it has a computing power to actually service whatever job that you're doing. Imagine if you can be on the go, you can do your designs on the go, you can edit on the go. A client sends you, you know, something you want to sign,
a concept,
you want to even sign an invoice, whatever. Pull out the pen, sign it. If you want to make a change to a design, pull out the pen, design it, and you are good to go. You don't need to have a huge laptop with you all the time. With all the connections that you can get out of this, especially when you connect it to a docking station, you can connect via HDMI to a TV screen, and you're good to go. You can do a presentation anywhere you are. So It's one of the big things that you need to think about. Think about what my life is, what my needs are, and think about how these devices fit into it.
Yeah.
If you have a tab and you are an artist, you are someone who is constantly on the go, you are into construction and things like that, once you get a good case for it, especially if you're in construction, because things are flying around all the time, you basically have a computer and it has all the specs to support whatever number of applications.
Is crazy.
In terms of storage space, whatever applications you're trying to run, you can run it on that device. If you're, for example, someone who does a lot of business meetings and things like that, once you get your keyboard attached to it, you don't even need a keyboard, but just to make it easier, once you attach your keyboard to it, think about it, you're pretty good to go. If you have the stylus as well, it gives you an extension of so many different things you can do in the office, outside of the office, whichever it is, without necessarily needing to have a physical paper in front of you or have a whole laptop in front of you. Quite a number of laptops as well. You don't even have a stylus input. So when it comes to signing, it becomes a little complicated. But with this, everything is into one. You don't have to necessarily worry yourself too much about getting all of those. Then it comes to the phone. Okay, so why would someone need a 12,499 Ghana cedi phone? And once again comes back to how do you typically live your life? How does this device fit into the rest of your life? Who really needs one device that acts both as a tablet and as a mobile device? Well, this is it. If I'm going to spend, for example, 5,000 cedis on a phone and another 4,000 cedis on a tablet, well, combine all of it and get one of this, because that is what you're going to get with this. You flip it open and you get a tablet, you close it up and you get a mobile device. Even in this state, there's so much that you can still do with it. But then imagine when you flip it open. Imagine when you flip it open and the possibilities of what you can do with it. Of course, this device is not for everybody. And I say it, and when you read my review that's coming out later this week, it's not for everybody. It's not everybody's device. However, if you're somebody who lives a certain kind of life and you require something that sort of crosses between a mobile device and a tablet and does it very seamlessly, where you don't really see necessarily too many hitches and things like that, this is your perfect device. Then comes the conversation about, how do you track your fitness and how does all of that fit into all of these devices? Then, for example, the Galaxy Watch 3 will come into the conversation. For me personally, after using it for about a week, the truth is it has an incredible sleep monitoring platform. The monitoring for sleeping is incredible, and the way it breaks down the data for sleep monitoring is incredible. Now, if you're somebody who typically requires your health to be monitored, either how much sleep you're getting, how much deep sleep you're getting, etc., etc. Imagine sometimes you go for like 2 days, you've slept, but you wake up and you're still tired. How do you know that at some point in the night you woke up or you did something or you didn't sleep deep enough? Unless something is actually doing the monitoring. And if you don't measure things, you never know.
Of course, you can't improve.
Exactly. So when these devices are talked about, it might seem grandiose, it might seem whatever, but these are the little applications that you can think about. For example, how do you know right now, sitting here, how many beats per second your heart is going?
I don't.
You don't. But then with the watch, you can actually just check it on your wrist, literally. And it's because it monitors you over a period. When it realizes something irregular, it's able to notify you. On the watch as well, it tells you, stand up. It gives you a quick vibration and tells you to stand up at various points in the day. You might not think that that is such a big deal, but then think about it. All those little bits of getting up, walking up the stairs, climbing up the stairs, and monitoring all of that over a period is actually helping you to get a bit of exercise done. Because when you sit for a long period of time, it has its own adverse effects on you. And when you get some of these little hints, sometimes it's just a little vibration on your wrist. It kind of gives you, wait, how am I sitting? Am I slouching? How am I sitting? Have I gotten up? And all these little things, small as they may seem, contribute generally to your well-being. Now remember, the watch is synchronized with your phone, it's synchronized with your tablet. You can literally go there, open the app, and see what your fitness has been like. If you're someone who enjoys going to the gym, you have your watch on, you are counting the number of steps that you take every day. Okay, so you go back to the phone or you go back to the tablet. You see over a period of a month or 2 months, what has my performance been? For example, if you're a runner, you can calculate your pace, for example, your average pace over a number of kilometers. You would be able to see after 2 months whether you're improving or you're retrogressing. And that is where the magic is. If you don't measure it, you're never going to be able to see it. Now remember, with these watches, you're able to, for example, receive mobile calls on it. You're able to sometimes even to the point of sending text. It's a bit of a stretch sometimes. For example, I never really understand why I need to have a mobile browser on my watch. But then everybody has their own reasons why they have it. But you see, the thing is, they put all these tech at your beck and call, so that in case you need to make some decision, you don't necessarily need to stress yourself too much. Now, you might not think that you need a browser on your watch, but there will be a point where you need to get some quick information. How are you going to do that if you don't have any of your devices with you? You understand? So once again, coming back to this ecosystem conversation, all these devices, like I said, it might look like it costs a lot, and quite frankly, for the average person, it does cost a lot. But then it doesn't mean you need to get it. You just need to understand what it does in your life, whether you feel that it gives you benefit, and then go out and get it, because it seems like a lot of money. But then think about it. If you're spending 7,000 cedis on a laptop, and you can spend 5,500 cedis on a tablet, and you can get the same computing power on that laptop as you can get on the tablet. And guess what? The tablet comes with a stylus.
Yeah. I was just looking at it here, and you know, when you pull the stylus away and you put it back,
you get the indicator.
Tells you the indicator, you know, the percentage on how much battery power is left on the stylus.
And people always tell, you know, they miss the art of writing. Their handwriting is getting terrible. But with this, you can actually write, and then you can tell the laptop or the brain behind it to actually translate it into typable text, such that you can be able to send it as an email. So you are probably at home, you have an idea, you can just pick up the stylus, scribble it as you
into text.
Yeah, scribble it as you see it. If you're a designer, you design homes and you're into interior decor and things like that, you have an idea about how you want some colors to be or some shape, you can just literally draw it as it is and then send it as a photo, as whatever, to whoever is going to make it. You don't need to be behind some huge machine or some desktop or some laptop to try and figure out how to do that. And like I said, most laptops don't even have a stylus input. So then how are you going to get the design? You have to get some CorelDRAW or some Photoshop or something. But then with this, you can just literally open any app and draw whatever you want, put in any colors that you want, and you're pretty good to go. And like I said, from here, you can easily synchronize everything onto your phone. You can continue working from your phone on here. If you have a compatible TV, for example, you are viewing something on your phone, you can connect it to your TV and just continue watching on your TV. And that is what that whole ecosystem is all about. But then you need to, once again, coming back to the basic, you need to find out how these devices fit into your life. If it doesn't fit into your life, it's not for everyone. It is absolutely not for everyone. If it doesn't fit into your life, don't try it. Because then you come to the point where you get to the office and the tablet will be sitting there looking at you for like 7 whole days and you haven't touched it. You know, you get to the point where you have this really, really expensive device and you're using about just 20% in terms of its true capacity. You have a watch that's on your hand and all you do is check the time. You don't track your fitness, you don't track anything else. I mean, once again, it's just look at your life. See how all these little devices sort of make your life much better, and then you can buy into it from there.
Wow. So much to learn, so much to do. Well, does it fit into your life? Thank you very much, Philip Kofi Ashon. Philip is the host of City Trends on 97.3 City FM and also the head of production here at City TV. Well, we're going to look at our entertainment highlights, and after that, hello, Mr. President. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Kwame Dazi. Celebrated highlife musician Daddy Lumba is ready to give Ghanaians good highlife songs with his latest album. According to Philip Kwabena Ajimana Piakubi, who is Daddy Lumba's manager, the highlife gem who recently celebrated his birthday is currently putting some finishing touches to his latest album, which seeks to re-establish his dominance in the music industry. Speaking in an interview with Daily Guide, the manager said anyone who listened to the songs on the album will feel the richness of his instrumentation and get the feeling as though they were listening to him perform live on stage. He added that the venue and date for the launch will be soon announced. Daddy Lumba is an award-winning artist who has released over 33 albums, which include Abenwaha, Owusuo, Ubiatomisobuo, Sikasem, Yentiobia, among others. He is noted for his unbridled lyricism and the tact in tackling risque topics in his songs. He's also one of the very few Ghanaian musicians who has a song for almost every aspect of human life. Ghanaian actress Juliet Ibrahim is really serious about the financial status of men who want to date her. She has issued another warning to suitors who are poor to fix themselves before approaching her with any love proposal. Yes, Juliet said in an interview on Metro TV that she has hopes of getting married again after her previous marriage with Safo Kantanka Jr. hit the rocks, but with conditions. When asked what type of man she was looking for, Juliet emphatically stated that she didn't want. Juliet, after her marriage with Safo Kantanka, also dated Nigerian artist Iceberg Slim. She's known for movies such as Foreplay, Crime to Christ, London Fever, Royal Storm, among others. Flights have been restricted across the world due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but that isn't stopping Rick Ross from fixing his smile. The Miami rapper recently flew down to Santiago de Cali, Colombia, in order for renowned dentist Dr. Mario Montoya to sort him out with a fresh set of teeth. According to TMZ, the procedure took 6 hours and involved him getting 12 veneers on top and 12 on the bottom that were 100% porcelain. The whole thing usually cost $10,000, but Rosé got it done for free. And that's all for entertainment highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Kwame Dazi.
Have you wondered why people patronize for Franco Trading Enterprise? Follow me, I'll show you why. So this is the reason why people patronize from us. It's because we have quality and affordable mobile phones and accessories. Talk of Alcatel, iPhone, Samsung, and among others. We also have quality laptops and affordable television of all sizes. Our latest baby on the block is the Franco TV 65-inch Smart TV. It's just going to blow your mind. The picture quality is superb. Our shops are open for both wholesalers and retailers. You can also walk into any of our shops nationwide to window shop. But remember to always put on your face mask. Franco Trading Enterprise, indeed the home of quality mobile phones, televisions, and accessories.
Hello Ghanaians, my name is Mrs. Kosi Yankee Aye. I am the Executive Director for the National Board for Small Scale Industries, NBSSI. Through the CABAS initiative, we have disbursed funds to over 100,000 beneficiaries across the nation. Several local businesses have seen the impact of our work, and we will continue to give amidst this global pandemic era that has negatively impacted all of us.
MBSSI, a new era for SMEs.
Welcome back. It's Breakfast Daily on CCTV, and it's time for the Hello, Mr. President segment of the show, a segment that focuses solely on issues you are experiencing within your communities, problems policymakers have turned a blind eye to, a segment that gives you the power to show the country and the world about issues that have not yet sent us videos. Just take out your phone. It doesn't matter the quality of images you have. Take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. Send that video to us via the email hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. You can also WhatsApp it to us via the WhatsApp line 0550-585832. And every Wednesday at exactly this time, we'll play it for the entire nation and the world to see how we are continuing to fail you. Now, if you don't have a camera or a phone camera, don't worry. You can text your problems to us, the same email, hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com, or that WhatsApp line 0550-585832. Now, last week we covered a story that had to do with sanitation issues in the Asogli district in the northern region, as well as road problems that are making it difficult for women, men, children to get from one place to the next. We'll take a look at that story that we received and then speak to the DCE of that area.
President, we want to present our problems to you to see how best we can help us solve it. I'll start with my electoral area first. In my electoral area, we have about 2 toilet facilities, and all these facilities are not in a good shape. People are not happy to see those toilet facilities. Let me just take you through to see how one of the toilet facilities looks like. People are using this toilet facility, and it is not all that good. And because of that, people resort to free themselves openly, open defecation, which is not good to our health. So, Mr. President, can you do something to help Langelo community in Dziffa? In Dziffa district as a whole, we have roads problem. The road linking Yendi to Tatali is under this vulnerable state, which needs an urgent attention. So we are appealing to the President to help solve that problem. Not forgetting the route from Dziffa to Nakpale, even though the contractor is on site, but governments should act so that the contractor will do his best. If you are going to Nakpale, there's a portion called Takpani. It's very bad. And if you move there to a place called Aldu, that place too is very bad. So we are appealing to the President of Ghana to help the people of Dziffa district to get a very nice and motorable route.
So that was the video that we received last week. The young man there's the assemblyman of the area. He's so tired of engaging stakeholders, policymakers about this toilet issue. And last week, we actually showed you guys what it looked like inside. Some of you were traumatized by it and said that it's too early to show you this, but this is the reality of thousands of Ghanaians in that area. Every morning, they have to go through this process that dehumanizes them just to answer to nature's call. I do have with me the DCE of the area, Ahmed Idrisu. He's on the line. Good morning, Mr. Idrisu.
Good morning, madam.
Thank you so much for being with us.
It's my pleasure to speak with you this morning.
Good. Now, one of the people in your area sent us this video walking us through how they have to answer to nature's call every morning. And I must say that it saddened me that in 2020 Ghana, Ghanaians have to use this facility. What do you have to say about it?
Dziffa, it's been glad speaking with you as far as this sanitation issue is concerned. really, when I took over 2017, you are aware that currently we have SDGs that we're trying to actually attain by 2030. Glad to say that, or state emphatically, that our president is a co-chair. For that matter, anything that has to do with achieving these SDGs, every MMDC will struggle hard in order to achieve it. What is happening now, and almost everywhere, is that we gradually shifting from public toilet construction to household latrine construction. Many a times we meet and then all the assembly members will be around. We tell them this is what we are shifting gradually. It is not just a day that we've just woken up to ask everybody that abandon your public toilets and then now restrict to your own construction in the household. It's not like that. We continuously inform the people. My environmental and sanitation unit of the assembly will continuously inform the people. As a result of that, we've been able to train about 30 artisans to construct household latrines. This was done, let me make it clear, under the assistance of UNICEF. In the Dziffa district specifically, our ODS, open defecation free, stood at 25 communities out of 183. Through our ingenuity and our investment into educating the people and assisting them to put up household latrines, we have that number currently to 105.
So, Mr. Idrisu, are you saying 105 household toilets?
In the northern region, out of 26 districts, Dziffa was placed fourth. Just to tell you that sanitation requirement is being leapfrogged from the ABs up to that level. With the toilet that they have showcased to the entire globe, not only the Ghana per se, has been a place where my technicians, my environmental and health units advise that that place should be closed down.
Okay.
It is so much hazardous to be used in the sense that all the blocks used to construct these toilets are weakened. Hence, there is no need to invest money into it in order to renovate it.
Okay, so Mr. Idrisu, I just want to make sure that I'm getting you clearly. Do you hear me?
From the usage.
Okay, do you hear me, Mr. Idrisu?
Even in the rainy season, it is so difficult to demolish it absolutely.
Okay.
But before that information was told, the people of the area had been fed with the information and introduced to these artisans.
Okay.
The artisans can construct household latrines, starting from 100 Ghana cedis, 150, 200, up to 300. As I speak, Dziffa, the number of households within Dziffa town have been able to construct this household latrines within their own houses.
Okay, Mr. Idrisu, I now need you to bear with me. How many household toilets have you said that you've been able to construct since 2017?
Pardon me?
How many household toilets have you been able to construct with partnering with UNICEF?
So that is what I am talking about.
Just the number. Yes, the number of household toilets within Dziffa.
105.
105
communities.
Okay. Please, bear with me, because when we got the video from the young man in your area, Mr. Idrisu,
been constructed with this particular household.
And we're happy about that, but you need to answer my question of over 2,000 people living within this community. If you're saying you provided just a little over 100 household toilets, what happens to the rest of the people? If we are even saying 10 people per household, that still leaves us 1,000 people with nowhere to go to answer to nature's call. What option have you provided for those people within that constituency?
Dziffa, hear me clearly. I'm not talking about 100 people have been provided.
Yes, I heard you clearly. 100 households.
Communities. In a community, you can have about 50, you can have about 50 houses. So if a community is declared as open defecation free, it tells you that within that community, about 40, 50 to 60 houses have had household latrine.
Okay, now I need you to also try to hear me clearly. Did you say 100 communities or 100 households? Mr. Idrisu, please, for the benefit of our viewers, we just need clarity. Was it 100 communities or 100 households? And how many people maximum make up a household within Zabzugu? Because your people are watching us and they will send us messages to confirm the number that you give us.
I am talking about the communities that we have within Zabzugu district. 138 communities. Zabzugu is not exclusive. And Zabzugu, entire Zabzugu capital, the town has also been split into communities.
Okay.
So put all this together that we have 138 communities. And
yes.
I'm telling you that out of these 138 communities, we have 105 communities. Basically, 32 communities are still will be declared as open defecation communities, which is not good.
How many households have you served? Because you started out with that variable. You started out with the household variable.
In addition to that, Dziffa.
Yes, but can you just answer the household question?
83, giving you loose.
Mr. Idrisu.
To enable them contract for themselves.
Yes. But you do agree with me that majority of the people within your community perhaps fall below the poverty line. So even that 100 and 200 Ghana cedis may be difficult for them to come up with. No?
Yes.
So is there an alternative place for them to answer to nature's call? Because clearly this seems to be the best option for them if they can't afford the household toilets that you, in partnership with UNICEF, have been trying to provide them.
One, there is every conscious effort for all of us to shift from that paradigm into actually doing our best for assembly to action. Let me indicate and place on record that assembly cannot, every year you prepare your budget to go around and say every household, this is how much we are given for you in order to construct this particular household toilet. Assembly cannot do that. What assembly does now, as we see, is that we build toilets at lorry stations, public places, hospitals, and then schools.
Okay.
I can tell you, state on record, that the number of toilets that we have built in collaboration with these NGOs is overwhelming.
Over 100, right?
Where we call the London electoral area, this is closer to the new map, where we have a toilet with water. That anybody goes there, you can do whatever you want and you have water to water. Remember, it is water and sanitation.
Yes.
It's only unfortunate that it's not yet accomplished. It is a mechanized one. At the Zabzugu electoral area, same toilet is being constructed. At Tupalu, same toilet is being constructed.
So from your analysis, Mr. Idrisu, for the sake of time, for your analysis,
the superstructure, it is now left for us to place the necessary gadgets that will enable us have a mechanized toilet.
When would you be able to complete this project, please? Mr. Idrisu, when would you be able to complete this project?
Allowing people to go through hazardous conditions or hygienic conditions.
Okay. No. When will you be able to complete this project, please? Do you hear me?
The assembly members, this is what we now want to get before even 2030. And that one would have been very instructive for you.
Okay.
You know that sensible assembly is not an assembly that is not paying attention to affording sanitation to citizenry in the assembly.
There's no doubt that you've made some progress, but clearly hundreds of your people still use this toilet that we showed our viewers earlier. Mr. Idrisu, you've made progress. You've provided over 100 toilets to some households, but that's clearly not enough for the over 2,000 people who live within your community. So what is next? How do we ensure that they have a better alternative to the place they currently visit to answer to nature's call, so we can finally put an end to the open defecation option that they've been using?
Right. What we need the citizens to be aware is that for Assembly to prepare budgets and provide toilets, public toilets, to areas currently we're drifting away cleverly or steadily, in order for us to now educate the people and increase their awareness on having a toilet for themselves.
Okay.
Now, ask the question, those who cannot afford.
Yes, what's the alternative available for them?
We need the people to actually accept wholeheartedly the need for rest, because even within the assembly itself, every year, we go around and have our own different tables. If an area is found at the bottom, we speak to them. They now employ this particular artisan that we train.
Okay.
25 artisans have been trained. For only that,
are there specialized
around the communities outside?
Yes.
So whatever we are saying, it is an eyesore to anybody seeing this within town. But the fact still remains. Let us arise. Let us move away from allowing assembly to confront. Yes.
Is there an option for those people in your communities who can't afford the household toilets, Mr. Idrisu?
Educating the people to get their own household like
yes. Is there an option available for people who cannot afford the household toilets? What do they do?
The options are there. When you say who cannot afford, reason that I say that it is something that is already constructed. What is left is for my environmental health unit to come and do the construction and place the Digilu there. They have no pressure. We do it gratis.
Okay.
A penny for them to pay.
So when will this construction be completed?
By Community Water and Sanitation Agency to assist those who cannot afford to construct this. That's what I'm telling that. We have so far distributed them, 283. It's not as though those who cannot provide, we leave them to their fate. Never. As a duty bearer, you will not allow this.
So what do they do? Because they are still using this toilet that we're looking at.
Then they go and construct for them.
Okay.
So it's not that we don't have any alternative.
Okay.
In order to solve the problem for those who cannot afford to construct this thing. Those that we have assembled, we have done our data, and we have realized that communities where the household cannot afford to get money in order to construct for themselves, let us give them this Digilu for them to be constructed.
Perfect. So we're going to move on to the next topic, but just share a number with us for the people in your community to contact.
Now, and we continue to still look at and collect data.
Okay.
Those who can still not afford.
Okay.
Assist them.
Thank you, Mr. Idrisu. Share a number with us for the people in your community to contact if they cannot afford it, so that they can still get access to a more dignified household toilet, so that they can answer to nature's call. What's that number that they can call?
So, I believe the DC is just like MTN number. All my doors are open to all the citizens.
Okay, so what's the number?
As I speak.
Because the assemblyman said he's been trying so hard to reach you, but he was not able to reach you.
Any other person who cannot afford this thing.
Okay, so let's move on now to the roads in your community, because it seems as though people are not being able to be productive within your community. So we'll take a look at the roads as well. Mr. Idrisu.
Before we now draw our composite budget.
Thank you for being with us. So we're looking at the state of your roads right now on TV. The nation is watching, the world is watching. Last week, we were informed that people can't even get to the markets. Women trying to sell in the markets can't go because their cars will break down. There's a truck that our viewers are looking at that has broken down. No one knows how long these people have to be there until they get the help that they need. Why are your roads still in the states that they are in?
In the first place, let me indicate that the roads that we have here, I suppose they've been here with us since our independence. The previous government will come and go. Every year, that routine graveling or routine grading of it will be done. But it is instructive for me to point out that we are all aware as Ghanaians that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana declared this year as a year of road.
Which makes it very sad that the people of your district have to live on this road.
The road that we are seeing in if that is the road from Yendi to Zamzogu, that road on June for Ghanaian Times, June 9, Ghanaian Times has been advertised and is being broken into 4 lots. Tatali border, you know, we share this with Tatali, and Tatali is a border. Tatali border to Zamzogu is a lot. Zamzogu to Yendi is a lot. Yendi to Kwejini is a lot, and then Kwejini to Tamale is a lot. It's a World Bank sponsorship road to be constructed. That has been advertised. I believe, it is my conviction, by now, I suppose this thing could have been even awarded. It's going to be done in such a way that it is going to be tied, so that whatever we have seen inside here will not repeat such a thing.
Okay.
But it's not only the road, because we are agrarian community. Zamzogu, the best yam Dziffa you eat in Accra, they come from Zamzogu side, from the Nanumba district. So it is not proper. If the roads are not good for this yam to be brought to Accra, for you people to select the tono and all those things. Hence, His Excellency, upon having been spoken to, and when we were doing the 2016, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, came to Nepali and saw the road.
Mr. Idrisu,
there are contractors on the road from Zamzogu up to Nepali.
Mr. Idrisu, please bear with me. Yes.
So it is not as
I have to get this question out, so you answer it for me, okay?
Abandoned roads.
Yes.
Never. That is not the case.
Okay.
And these are our only 2 highway roads.
Okay.
And these 2 highway roads, plans are advanced. One is already awarded.
Mr. Idrisu, we are all watching the roads you are talking about. You just admitted to us. Please let me just get this question out. You just admitted to us.
It is a Yendi road, and that Yendi road too is.
Okay, I want you to conclude so that I can ask you my question.
Those who have won the league.
Okay, thank you very much. We're looking at the roads here. You just told us that most of your people they farm yams, some of the best yams in the country. This problem has been there since the early days of independence. You've been in your office since 2017. You know the problems more than anybody else. How do you feel seeing that your people may not even make much of the sales of yam because it takes them forever to get to the market due to the nature of their roads? And the president is saying this is the year of roads. Aren't you a bit disappointed that you've not seen any progress and we are already in October? Doesn't this go beyond just, you know, some delay in contract issues?
Not in the least disappointment at all. I am not disappointed.
Are your people disappointed? Maybe you are not disappointed, but are they disappointed?
And out of the Northern Development Authority, we have awarded a road from Sabari to Sabari Tundang. It's been done and gravel. From Sabali to Sabari Jegudo, it's been done and gravel. From Gokugani to Dababani to Gotane back to meet the Nepal road is like an arc.
But now we're looking at Zabzugu, home of over 2,000 Ghanaians.
That means you have not done anything. How can they bring the young onto the road? So development is in stages.
Okay.
We start progressively. It is not as though when we came to power 2016, that I just go tell the president, start doing our road. You need to prioritize. You need to prioritize, and out of the prioritization, road is germane as agriculture, the improvement is germane. And you are aware, Dziffa, what planting for food and jobs has done for Ghanaians. I may even say, not even me, I can say with authority, due to the bumper harvest that we have had in Ghana, this year, the number of articulated trucks that drive this road, exporting
and we see some of these articulated trucks breaking down, Mr. Idrisu. So just wrap up for us for the sake of time.
Yeah.
Your people are listening, they are watching, they are saddened because this is a human rights issue. People should be able to make a living wherever they are in this country. If Ghanaians sadly find themselves in Zabzugu, they have to deal with toilet problems if they can't afford to have toilets in their homes. And God forbid they need to go to the market to make a living, or their children have to go to school, or their men have to go to work. They have to deal with the possibility of being stranded because of these bad roads. What's the way forward?
One, I would tell my constituents that this is not the period for us to throw our hands in despair. Something is being done currently. Close to an hour.
So when will this destiny come to life, Mr. Idrisu?
I am assuring the citizenry, I am assuring my constituents that the passionate and the compassionate and the visionary leader that is excelling and now.
Do you have a date for us?
Has begun something.
Okay.
And that thing is that it is not going to change our way of living within the Zabzugu Assembly.
Okay.
Because these roads, when they are done, the only highway roads that are done, and the feeder roads out there are repeatedly done, I believe.
Okay. Do you have an idea of timelines that you could possibly share with us?
Difficulty roads are broken down, will now become the thing of the past.
Thank you very much, Mr. Idrisu.
Because he promised us Richland High School, he has delivered. He promised us agri employment.
Mr. Idrisu, do you have a date for us? Your people want to know if you have a date for them.
Job opportunities he has delivered.
Yes.
So it is assurance to all my constituents that this road will also come to
Finally, do you have a date that you can share with them?
For our economic
Mr. Idrisu, do you have a date you can share with them?
Pardon me?
Do you have a date you can share with them so they can actually see their destinies manifested?
I will bet you back to whatever I indicated that development is a progress.
Thank you very much for being with us.
To tell them that, but I believe when 4 years from Nana is done.
Thank you very much. Enjoy and thank you very much for being with us. And we hope that your people will get the roads that they deserve to be able to move from point A to point B, because it's really sad that in this 21st century Ghana, women can't go to market because of the nature of their roads. Children may not be able to get to school on time. Men can't get to work. But if you're experiencing any issues in your community and you want to draw the attention to policymakers to it, you know what to do. Just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. Send that video to us via the email hello mrpresidenttv@gmail.com. And every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. we will show it on Breakfast Daily for you. You can also WhatsApp it to us at 0550-585832. You can also text it to us, the same email, hello mrpresidenttv@gmail.com, and that WhatsApp line 0550-585832. It's about time that we actively participated in our own development, and it starts by holding our policymakers accountable.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we have Voters Diary for you at 1 p.m. today and 3 p.m. on City TV. Abna Nyamiche Ampedu will host that one on radio, and Vivian Kai Loco will host the TV one. You don't want to miss it. We are going to go out and vote exactly 60 days from today, and we owe it to ourselves to make an informed decision.
Yep, absolutely. Well, it's been a very packed morning with lots of exciting conversations. I enjoyed the one with Philippa Strong as well.
Yeah,
on the constitutional text. I mean, so many
he
gadgets
brought some nice
these
gadgets.
Days. I can't believe it. I'm just wondering what the competition is going to come up with next. Yeah, you know, it's crazy. But thank you for watching. If you missed any of the segments of our show, kindly go over to CityTube. That's the place to get all the different segments nicely packaged for you. Subscribe, click on the notification button so that you can get new updates every time the videos drop. Like, comment, and share with all your friends.
My name is Dziffa Ametam.
And I'm David Kwekusichi.
It's raining, but let's still make this a very great day.
Enjoy yourself. Take care.